The shape of the city has changed dramatically, tragically, and perhaps irreversibly. There's now over 25 feet of water where there was once city streets and thriving neighborhoods.
I hate the way they portray us in the media. If you see a black family, it says they're looting. See a white family, it says they're looking for food. And you know it's been 5 days because most of the people are black. And even for me to complain about, I would be a hypocrite because I've tried to turn away from the TV because it's too hard to watch. I've even been shopping before even giving a donation. So now I'm calling my business manager right now to see what is the biggest amount I can give, and just to imagine if I was down there. And those are my people down there. So anybody out there that wants to do anything that we can help with the setup, the way America is set up to help the poor, the black people, the less well-off as slow as possible. I mean, Red Cross is doing everything they can. We already realize a lot of the people that could help are at war right now, fighting another way, and they've given them permission to go down and shoot us.
And subtle, but in even many ways more profoundly devastating, is the lasting damage to the survivors' will to rebuild and remain in the area. The destruction of the spirit of the people of southern Louisiana and Mississippi may end up being the most tragic loss of all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Please call.
In the past few days.
Whoops, there it is. So I wanted to start that video off with that infamous clip of Kanye West in his elements after Hurricane Katrina, for people who don't know. So I wanted to show that side of Kanye with the whole issue of this shirt. It seems like to be honest, I'm not really worried about Kanye. Kanye is a celebrity. To me, his political commentary doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't hold weight. So I've seen these antics before. You know, it's been a while. I've seen these antics before, and I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, he had something coming out, fashion, music, anything to capitalize off of it. Yeah, I will say that Kanye I'll give him credit for being able to cause controversy and still maintain a fan base, and even growing and expanding his fan base as well too. But I don't want to get too into that. I want to talk about this shirt. So this video, this is basically going to be the psychology of an ideal black conservative. You could call it part 2, featuring Candace Owens, because Candace Owens, I want to focus more on. I did a video, The Problem with Black Conservatives. You should definitely check it out. You should also check out The Psychology of an Ideal Black Conservative, featuring the Officer Tatum. That will give a lot of the main points and tenets about their psychology, and it's really going to put this video into proper context for sure. So, Candace Owens. So really, we have to ask ourselves, what is the need to validate white life? What's the purpose, right? Now, as much as I speak on anti-Blackness coming specifically from white people have their own problems. And you would think, instead of worrying about black people, white people will try to fix some of their own problems. We got the opioid crisis, we got meth. If you look at the numbers, majority of white people unalive other white people. And even if you look at the pharmaceutical companies and how they affect white people as well too, you could look at the settlements for a lot of these pharmaceutical companies. It really boils down to pharmaceutical companies affecting the lives of other white people. So obviously, white people have their own problems, but this is the thing. This shirt has nothing to do with the opioid crisis, meth, majority of white people, pharmaceuticals, right? You know, white on white crime. It has nothing to do with that. This shirt specifically is to juxtapose with Black Lives Matter. And I'm going to get into why Black conservatives do this, right? Even if you look at Black people killing white people, right? Black people still receive the full extent of the law in the criminal justice system. And when you flip it, white people killing black people, especially with police brutality, they do not receive the full extent or the same extent of the law that's handed down to that's handed down to black people. So we have to keep that in context, right? So this shirt is not about actual white lives. It's a farce. It's definitely a farce. This has nothing to do with the well-being of white people, this shirt, if you really think about it, right? Let me get into this picture. See how Candace Owens is looking at Kanye here, and then she's smiling. Kanye's looking down because he knows the backlash that's coming. He's not stupid. He knows how to capitalize, so he knows what he's doing. But Candace Owens is smiling. I think she's genuinely, I mean, of course she looks happy, but it's iconic to have somebody like Kanye to wear this shirt. Just imagine somebody like Jay-Z or, some other rapper that's been in the game for a while, legendary status to wear a shirt like this. Because not no regular black celebrity is really gonna put on this shirt. There's been a bit of history with Kanye. He's wore the MAGA hat as well too. So this is not anything far off, to be honest. But just the statement alone, white lives matter, because this is two black people, right? Wearing a white lives matter shirt. It's not even about all lives matter. Now it's just basically white lives matter, essentially. And remember, all lives matter was supposed to was the first slogan to juxtapose against Black Lives Matter. So I really want to dissect the organization Black Lives Matter out of the equation because we're neither here nor there in terms of the organization. I'm not here to talk about the organization. What the organization has done is out there, it's public knowledge. I don't speak on, I'm not going to speak on the organization because I don't feel there's a need to. I think it's going to take away from the point because this is not about Black Lives Matter, the organization. This is about Black Lives Matter, the words, and the words specifically. It's the words that upset white people, right? It's the words. Black Lives Matter is a response to anti-blackness. So of course, white people were gonna have of the type of response that they had because they are trying to deny their role in anti-blackness. That's all it is. Because to acknowledge Black Lives Matter is to acknowledge that white lives are not, white lives do not see it the same way. White lives are the ones that are oppressing and perpetuating anti-blackness. So, so it's not just about police brutality if you really think about it. I mean, it did start with police brutality, Black Lives Matter, but there's an entire system that goes into education, criminal justice, employment, even if you look at immigration policies as well too. So, Candace Owens and other Black conservatives, they don't believe in anti-Blackness. So that's the first thing. So we're talking about the psychology of an ideal Black conservative. Number one, don't believe in anti-Blackness despite the statistics, the data, the history. Skip all of that. Skip all of that and think that we're supposed to live in a colorblind world, essentially, where we don't see color, right? But think about it. They talk about not seeing color, and then look what happened with the Black Little Mermaid. But I'm getting off topic. I'm getting off topic. So the ideal Black conservative doesn't believe in anti-Blackness, and that's important because not only they don't believe in anti-Blackness, they deny anti-Blackness. They deny it. And that's important in terms of the psychology and thought process that goes into being an ideal Black conservative. So deny anti-Blackness, don't believe in anti-Blackness. So they're basically denying a reality. So they are intellectualizing within politics by denying the reality of anti-Blackness. So that will set the stage for the rest of their intellectual thinking now. And this is why we get to White Lives Matter. But I'm going to go a little bit deeper into it because they skip over anti-Blackness to turn to pro-whiteness. And that's part of the denial of anti-Blackness. So why would a Black person put on a shirt, White Lives Matter, right? Why would they do that? I already got into it a little bit, but some people might say, oh, they're just being good people. They're just advocating for white lives. But like I said, this is not the opioid crisis. This is not the pharmaceutical companies in the way that they treat their customers. This is not about white on white crime. This is not about meth ravaging trailer parks, right? This is not nothing to do with that. So it's not that they're good people, because if they were good people, they would show compassion and acknowledge anti-Blackness. So the only reason why they are proactive in whiteness is because they want to send a signal that they're not the same as other people, as other Black people. They want to dissect and differentiate themselves from other Black people who understand the system, systematic racism, and anti-Blackness. They want to deny it, but to even further prove their denial, they'll be like, look, essentially, I love white people. This is just a big sign that says, I love white people. But this is not what is the word? This is not being a good person. This is not being a good person. This is just simply to come against Black people when Black people speak up, because they react they react to Black people speaking up for themselves, loving themselves. So they have to not only deny it, but further go out and advocate for white lives. And a lot of Black conservatives do this. They go above and beyond to advocate for white people. So when we really look at it with this shirt really does say a lot. So Black conservatives, they'll use their Blackness to validate racist attitudes towards Black people. So they deny anti-Blackness, they advocate for white people, and part of that reason is because they're Black, so they know all the negative about Black people. So they know all the negative about Black people, they speak on all the negative, and then in turn, they speak about all the positive about white people. And this is classic Thomas Sowell doctrine, Black conservative doctrine. Speak negatively about Black people because I'm Black. I grew up in the Black community. I've seen how it works within. And now that I'm out of the Black community, moving towards whiteness as much as possible, I see that white people are the greatest thing to happen to Black people, essentially. The mind of a Black conservative is to deny anti-Blackness, highlight all the negative about Black people, and then turn around, highlight the positive about white people, right? So those are the main things. This shirt says a lot, and it's only 3 words. 3 words, 3 syllables, 16 letters. I was just counting the letters, 16 letters, but it says so much about the psychology of an ideal Black conservative. So, in other words, to the Black conservative, white people can do no wrong, and Black people will always fuck up. And that's basically it for this video. I didn't want to make it too long. If you want to see more, check out the other videos I have on the Black conservatives. So that will be it. I might even make a playlist dedicated specifically to Black conservatives, but that's pretty much it. Let me know in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Let me know whatever you think. If you have critiques, if you agree, if you see it at a different angle, let me know. I'm always down to discuss these issues. Peace out to the next video.